Hey guys, True Grit Scott, Bulletproof Saws and BLUESAWS.com. Got a couple things to talk about. I'm going to try to be quick because I got a boatload of work today. Disregard the messy bench, there's too much going on. First thing I want to tell you about is a couple updates from Farmertec. They have the, what do you call it, G660 Pro coming out. The information we're getting back, and they haven't released them yet, is that it's going to be the carbon fiber. I believe it's going to be a Walbro carb on it, but it's not going to be an Italy Tech, a Meteor, Caber rings, or any of that kind of stuff. So it's going to be half a Pro, I guess you'd say, which is, I guess, better than the 880 Pro, because the 880 Pro only had the carbon fiber, didn't have a Walbro carb on it, didn't have the Italy Tech, didn't have the Meteor piston, didn't have the Caber rings. This, at least, the 366 will have the Walbro carb, which I actually have the carbs in the shop. Hopefully I'll get to test them out this week to see how they are. I took a quick look at the Walbro from Farmertec compared to an older Walbro, can't remember the model, for the 361, and I thought the barrel was actually a little bit smaller. I'm not positive, don't quote me on that. So I'll test out some of those Walbros just to see how they run. They gotta be better than the HLICs that come on them. And you've heard me say this before. The HLIC that comes on the G366 is problematic as hell. It's a beautifully made carb, and I put too much time into trying to figure out why it doesn't work, because it looks like they put, it's a good looking carb. I mean, it looks as good as an OEM carb. Fit, finish, everything about it. It just doesn't work right most of the time. The other news from Farmertec is I believe the G266s are coming back. So your 260 clones should be coming back from Farmertec. I think that'll be over the next couple months. Although I've been hearing that for about the last year now, but it sounds like they are actually going to come out now. So that's two things. I'm going to do a quick thing on these chain tensioners. One of the things, you guys know, I started putting together packs with the chain tensioner and the shim / bushings to make them take out the slop on the G660s. It'll also take it out on the OEM 660, but that's another conversation. One of the things I'm noticing in doing this is I test out every one of these chain tensioners before I put it together in a kit to send out. And I send you the kit with a bushing on it and an extra bushing in the package. And I actually raised the price on those by $2, $3, whatever it was, because I'm going through a lot of these, because it seems when I'm putting them together at this stage here, some of the threads aren't exactly clean on these, and I get it. It's a little cheap part, but when I start putting it together and I get resistance on these threads, what I'm thinking is that I could keep working it, and I got to work it hard. I'm not talking about working with my fingers. Like, I get to a point where it's starting to thread in there where I'm cutting new threads. I got to put this in a vise and turn it with a wrench. I could turn it, or pliers. I could turn it and get it to work through and cut new threads. But I'm pretty sure if I do that, this is going to be the one that might fail a little bit quicker, so I've been throwing them in the garbage. So I've been going through every chain tensioner kit and making sure that the threads are correct, that it moves correctly before I send it out to you with a bushing, because that just seems like half a job. So I'm literally throwing out half of the chain tensioners, and what I'm going to tell you is, if you order just the chain tensioners, not the ones with the bushings, the ones that I'm not looking at, order 2 of them, because you have a good chance that you're going to get one where the threads are kind of tight, and maybe it'll last forever, but I don't believe that, because if I'm recutting threads like this, I think you're starting out badly. What I'll tell you is, if that happens, throw these 2 parts away. Throw the nib that goes up into your bar, throw that away, and throw the crown gear away too. Just chuck it in the garbage, because these crown gears, they all should be the same. And we've talked about this in another video, where depending on the manufacturer, this crown gear doesn't mesh up perfectly here. Like, things are off. So whenever you use a chain tensioner, use all the parts for the chain tensioner. And I know a lot of guys order the OEM steel ones and they wind up using the nib on it. Fine. If it works, I know guys have to do that because they don't order this piece from steel. Yeah, and you should just order the entire kit from steel, and I'm hoping to restock those. I'm having a problem getting them. But I throw that out, and I will keep the little metal cover. I'll keep the plastic cover. I'll keep the screw. I'll keep the plastic for the end of the rod. But the rest of it I throw in the garbage because I don't like mismatching chain tensioners. That's the next thing. Other thing I'll tell you is I got 2 or 3 of these to send out today. 395 chain brakes. And you see one, and maybe you can't see it because it's dead on, but I got one in the vise with a piece of inner tube protecting the handle. When they ship us these, the chain brake is on. And I get a lot of guys who try to put it on and it's not fitting, and you see guys banging on it trying to think, why isn't that chain brake fitting over my clutch drum? Well, it's because the chain brake is on. And the first time you do these, like maybe somebody can do it. You'd be a strong fellow if you could. Can just take it and do the chain brake. I can't do it. So I lock it in the vise and I have to, and it's generally not easy to do. Let's see, be that way, do I gotta go this way? I'm backwards now. And I actually fight to do these even in the vise because I don't want to stress the brake flag so much. So I put it in there and it'll take me, this is going to make me look weak on video, but I'm also trying not to break it. But I pop the chain tensioner back on 90% of them. I have to be super duper busy for me not to want to do that for you guys, just so you don't have the problem. For all I know, when it's in the box, it gets jostled and it probably sets the chain brake off again, but I try to make sure that the brake is disengaged before I send it. And it's just a stupid thing, but it's just one of the things because I look at every one of them, make sure they're okay, and pop it back. Anyhow, that was all my news for today. I just wanted to tell you about the G366, the 260 clone, tell you a little bit about those stupid chain tensioners, and then I was doing this anyway. I figured I'd throw it in there. Anyhow, guys, like I said, this has to be short. True Grit Scott, Bulletproof Saws at BLUESAWS.com. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, guys.